Hello friends, hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about all of the things that I no longer buy for my wardrobe after I've found my personal style. When you go through the journey of finding your personal style, it becomes apparent that there are staples or certain items that just don't work for you personally, and I've definitely struggled with having to give up the idea of making certain things work. There's also other things I've had to leave behind or stop buying for other reasons, and so I thought it would be fun to try and get into them a little bit and give you my reasonings for each of them. So without further ado, the first thing that I no longer buy after I found my personal style is t-shirts. Obviously, as so many other people, I have owned so many t-shirts through my lifetime, but I never really liked wearing them in any capacity. Even looking back to when I was much younger and even a teenager, I would feel much happier with completely sleeveless t-shirts or button-ups. The whole concept of something ending at t-shirt sleeved length, I just hate it. The last time I bought a traditional t-shirt was just I think short of a year ago, and the other time was actually just a few months back, where I bought a fitted t-shirt to sort of see if that would fix my issue, because it would be nice to just be able to wear a t-shirt. It looks so chic on others and it's so easy, but I just hate it on me. So in order to save money and give more space to appreciate the things that I actually feel like I look good in, I have stopped buying t-shirts. It's something I've been trying to force for way too long, and even now sitting here telling you I won't buy t-shirts is a little bit hard, because dang, a t-shirt is just so easy to wear. The next thing I no longer buy after having found my personal style is any type of dress that aren't A-line or a slip dress. It took me a really long time to come around to this fact, because there are so many types of dresses that I like on others, or that I like when I see them as inspo pictures if I come by them on Instagram or Pinterest, for example. But for my body type, what I like to dress for, how I like to dress my body, something that doesn't have an A-line or doesn't go out at the skirt part is just not going to work for me. I have the classic hip dips, or violin hips as some people like to call them, and while I've totally made peace with them, they do not bother me. I also don't want to dress them up in, for example, a bodycon dress. I personally don't like to emphasize on them. I would rather focus on dressing up the parts of my body that I really appreciate, and the hip dips I have just aren't that. So whenever I wear or see something bodycon or something just slightly straight or that follows down to the thigh, I don't really personally like it for my own style. One thing I do, however, like to dress up or dress for is my hip to waist ratio, and then having the fabric flow after that just, in my opinion, looks much better on me. But this one is also a difficult one, because there are definitely chic dresses or certain types of dresses that I get very attracted to, that I would have loved to be able to add to my wardrobe. But the reality of it is that whenever I have owned something like that or bought and tried it on, I've always ended up decluttering or returning it, because I just do not like it on me. The next thing I stopped buying is moto jackets or cropped jackets. This is something I used to wear so much when I was younger. I loved a cropped jacket, but this is just something that has changed. Sometimes it isn't that something never worked. Sometimes you literally just grow out of the look, because when I look back on pictures of my younger self and my style, I definitely feel like a moto jackets or crop jackets made a lot of sense. It doesn't feel like me anymore. It's a look that I have grown out of. So because of that, I don't add these jackets to my wardrobe at all. What I like to add instead is blazers. Blazers are definitely my new moto jacket, and I feel super me every time I wear a blazer. The next thing that I have stopped buying is sneakers. I was never a huge sneaker head, but that's just because I wasn't super much of a shoe person, but I would wear sneakers all the time. Specifically so white sneakers, usually Nike Air Force Ones. I also had a pair of the classic Adidas, the Superstars, and Vans. I went through the whole all the cliche sneakers. But the past 3 years, just getting older and developing on my style, I'm starting to realize that I never really truly feel comfortable in a sneaker. I do have a pair. I had the classic low-cut Converse All-Stars, and I do wear them sometimes for comfort, but I never prefer wearing them. So for that reason, I don't buy sneakers anymore. That's not to say that if something were to happen to the All-Stars, I wouldn't buy some out of comfort, but in that case I would look at it as a necessity and not something that I would like go out to shop for or add more to for my personal style sake. So I still decided to add them to this list. Doesn't mean that you will never see me in sneakers in the channel, but it is an exception to the rule because I would prefer to be wearing something else. The next thing I decided to give up on is pastel colors. I am a neutral and muted kind of girl, but I'm also a high contrast and dark colors kind of girl. I like to mix and match like a clear white or a bright oud with black or navy, for example. And I also do have just 2 pastel-ish colors in my wardrobe. As part of my color scheme, I do have a soft pink, and then of course I have like a baby blue, which is mostly present in my jeans, of course, like the classic jean blue. Like these softer, lighter colors a lot, but I have spent a lot of time buying like pastel green, pastel purple, pastel yellow, because I'm so attracted to these light and flowy, airy colors. But when push comes to shove, I think it is so important to narrow down, at least it is for me, what colors I will allow in my wardrobe, because consistent style is very important to me, and I feel like the more colors I add, the less consistent my style becomes. And so I would rather focus on adding colors that already goes together in my color wheel and have more pieces in the colors I truly appreciate, which is, for example, baby pink. I do also have 2 super saturated colors as part of my color scheme. That is the hot pink and a bright orange. But the thing with that is that these are the only 2 saturated colors that I am attracted to personally for my own wardrobe. So I don't really have to make a point out of trying not to add them, where for the pastel side of things, there are multiple other pastel colors that I like, but I have chosen to incorporate the 2 that I like the most. If you're someone who really likes color, this might seem sad to you, but rest assured that I feel better having less choice, so this is the right decision for me. The next thing I stopped buying after I found my personal style is intricately romantic tops. Now this was actually very, very difficult for me to give up on, or it's been a slow listen to learn, and it's quite simply because I absolutely love these romantic tops with tons of intricate details, the lace, the embroidery, ruffles, all of that. I think that they are just so beautiful, and I've had so many of them through time, but I just never ever feel me in them. It's one of those things that I have to just appreciate from afar. Every time I try, it goes wrong. I never end up liking it, and then I end up feeling sort of, if not inadequate, then at the very least super disappointed that it does not work for me because I wanted to so badly. I have, however, found a pretty good compromise, I would say. Most of the pieces in my wardrobe are quite simple, so I have found this very good compromise where I have these tops that are just like slightly more romantic or have slightly more intricate details. Maybe they will have like a little bit of a puffy sleeve or like a more interesting cut. This has become my version of the romantic top because I can really like the design and I can also wear it and feel at home in it. The next thing I no longer buy for my wardrobe now that I've found my personal style is polyester. If you're a regular to my channel, you are super familiar with the fact that I loathe polyester and I try my very best to avoid it. I don't always succeed. I do have a few exceptions also in newer time, like a pair of dress pants. But in general, I really try my very hardest and usually succeed in not adding polyester. For example, if I find a piece that I think is really beautiful or that is like a contestant of something to add to my wardrobe, if it's cut with polyester, I usually find it in myself to walk away no matter how hard it is, because now that I feel very strong in my sense of personal style, I really try to add things that I truly see myself like having around forever, or at least for a very, very long time. And I know that I will never perceive a lot of value in or truly appreciate an item that is cut with polyester. It doesn't matter what things are worth to you or someone else. If the perceived value is low to me, then I won't appreciate the item very much, and that is just how my brain views polyester. The next thing I stopped buying after I developed a better sense of personal style is what I like to call cool girl clothes. In my head, there is a very clear picture of what this means, and the best way I can describe it is someone who runs a fashion editorial. You know, someone who just dresses so cool, who's wearing all the right colors, whose blazer is super structured and interesting, and who just looks like they stumble out of Vogue. And I've talked about this on my channel before, but basically because of my upbringing, because of my personality, and because of also, I would say, my nationality, I sometimes have this sense or this urge that I should dress cooler. And it has been a part of my style for a very long time, and I have also at times felt kind of at home in that style. Not that I ever dressed super cool, but I felt comfortable having a few elements that I considered very cool girl aesthetic-ish, and I've just grown out of it, and it has been like the greatest relief for my sense of personal style to be able to leave this part of my style behind and realizing that it no longer serves me, and I can go ahead and stop buying for that version of myself. The next thing I no longer buy after I've developed my personal style, or just actually because there's no point to it in my wardrobe, is heels. Living in Denmark, where people wear casual footwear going out all the time, I just would wear my boots or my sneakers. But now that I have moved to Switzerland, I definitely feel like a heel would make more sense. Like, it would be way more appropriate to wear them every once in a while if I wanted to. But I walk around 15 to 25,000 steps a day. It's just not possible in a heel. So for whenever I feel like I do need a heel, like going to formal events like a wedding, that's the one we always talk about, but what if you have to go to a wedding? I do have one pair of heels. There are a hot pink pair of kitten heels from Jimmy Choo. I found them for $70 on Vestiaire. Now that I have such a great pair that I can wear when I need to, I don't really need to add any more. I don't need to wear them a lot, and a hot pink might be very out there for only having one pair of something, but hot pink goes with everything that I have in my wardrobe, at least all the dresses I have that I would wear in formal situations. And that is the beauty of following a color scheme, by the way. Now, I said things that I stopped buying, but that doesn't mean I will never buy a pair of heels again. If I ever, for some reason, get on a trajectory of life where all of a sudden it would make sense because I would drive places or wherever, I would love to add some more heels, but it's just not relevant to my life, and it seems like a waste of money when I have one perfectly adequate pair for the few events where I need to wear them. Also, I am still quite the minimalist, so I am happy with few stuff, and one pair of heels is more than enough for now. That was just some of the things on my list. There is definitely going to be other things, but I felt like these were the most relevant things that I wanted to talk about. One thing I have found on my journey, now I'm pretty far into it and I've gotten quite comfortable with cutting away choice for myself, but it can be really, really difficult, especially at first. Like, whenever we have to narrow things down and like sort of close a door on something that we've been trying to make work, or that we have previously had working in our wardrobe, it's sort of daunting to take away that choice for ourselves. But in my personal experience, when you do set these rules and criteria for yourself and stop allowing yourself to buy some of these things that you realize that does not work, you all of a sudden have all this extra time on focusing on buying and styling the things that do work, and as a result you get more consistent and better style. And this goes both for setting an actual color scheme and only buying within it, and also just giving up on the things that does not work and then start looking for really good pieces of the things that you know will work for you. And that way you will save some money, make less purchasing mistakes as well, and get much quicker to a better place in your personal style. You just go there faster. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up so that I know. It really does help out my small channel. And if you're here for the first time and not already subscribed, then consider doing that, because I make videos like this one all the time and I would love to keep you around. Thanks for watching and file!